Now, I want you to know I don't support CHS skins. I think punks are okay. I don't support them because they get people in a lot of financial problems, as a lot of other problems too. I'll tell you why. One reason why is because a lot of stuff that came out of Charlottesville and these people that get on podcasts and they're like little Hitlers, okay? They lose access to credit cards. They lose access to financial means. I mean, I used to be a banker, so I understand this stuff. Yeah, I was part of the punk rock world, and there were skins around at the time. But they didn't know the damage that they were doing to people of that time, because unless the future we live without money, you know, I understand that there's problems, but we still have to make money, right? Right now we're in that kind of financial world. And when you've got these podcasters that are out there getting on their soapbox and they're anti-Semitic, they lose the ability to use those cards, credit cards and financial, because they take it away from them. So they make people poor and they're diehard. Yes, it's true. I would rather them thump the Bible, which they don't always do too, which I think is strange. I'd rather them thump the Bible than get back to the Adolf crap from 1945, which never worked, right? And I don't know Shakespeare, you know, like I talk about Shakespeare, I don't know his view on things like Shylock and stuff. And Drive approaches that too. There's still anti-Semitism. But what I'm saying is that they because they know other people, bring them into their lives, and that can get some people into trouble at times.
Look at this crowd right here. It's starting to rain.
I'm saying that because sometimes it's better to kind of hold off from that stuff. You know, the whole tiki torque kind of thing. Because a lot of people, especially after January 6th, are that, man, that you got to realize the government has gone into people's homes and for the sake of protesting, okay, removed them from their homes and have imprisoned them. This is serious stuff. We're talking, you know, if you want to say socialism or whatever it may be, it kind of is because of social media. Social media and socialism, you got to realize there's a reason that this vlog is happening. And the things that happened in East Germany right after World War II, where they separated, and I've taken German, the Allies from the Westies, and the Eastern Russia, or actually Russia, just Russia itself came into Eastern Germany, took over and didn't allow any kind of freedom, and it became very socialistic, or it became socialism. Now, we got to realize that we have the right to protest, but we must do it with respect, and I don't think that's been going on, and that falls into the lines of idiocracy, where you become an idiot. And then you have groups that are separated that are so-called punching Nazis in the face, right? Okay, because you have nationalists. There are nationalists. Whether they support communism, capitalism, or anarchy, it's all form of probably some type of nationalism. The anarchy thing doesn't make a lot of sense, but it is a group, and they will meet at the battlefield, right, with their anarchy flags, just like the other communists will meet at the battlefield. And then you got the CHS people, you know, the people that are Confederate will meet at the battlefield with the rebel flag, right, which is outlawed. It really is outlawed. You know, I went to a high school where that flag was outlawed. It was they chose to change the mascot, to change those ways so people could be free and live their life and function in society. So now, because there are those people that were floating around in the past, they can point fingers and say this person's this person. So what I'm trying to say is I don't support any really type of supremacy or any type of prejudice or anything. And I think what happened to George Floyd was wrong. And I think the police abused their power, but I don't think the police are the only ones abusing the power. I think some of the people, the Republicans out there are, and I think the Trump thing got out of hand. And I think they need to stop, you know. But I think the January 6th thing, I understand. I wish Oliver Stone or someone like him, I don't know, maybe me, would make some type of movie addressing the January 6th incident that happened at the White House and the lady that got killed. Because we still, even to this day, even though we're, rich and we have money, or the Republicans, even to this day, we still have the right to protest to a certain degree. But if it gets out of hand, then things can be, adjusted. Ultimately, when I was in college, I was learned, you can say you were learned, I was taught to appreciate Martin Luther King Jr. and Martin Luther, the guy who started a lot of this and divorced the Catholic Church. He fled from the Catholic Church and started his own thing. But we were also to respect Martin Luther King Jr. He wasn't a perfect person, but he was a dang good writer, and he had the heart of the people for a reason. Because it's wrong to be abusive, right? And we are in a lot of ways. So that's what I'm ultimately saying. I think this is post George Floyd, and we're recovering. Here I am in Texas, and I guess maybe going to New York was a way to kind of open up and say, okay, let's see what New York City can teach somebody. But then coming back in the South, you do feel the heat, and you do realize that sometimes we're like, well, let Yankees be Yankees and let the Southern boys be Southern boys, I don't sit there and wave a rebel flag, but I do sing somewhat a little bit about a band that did, right? You know what I'm saying? Not because it's right to do that, but because it happened. Do you see what I'm saying? So you've got this band that is, I know they ended up in Mississippi, but they're, Leonard Skinner kind of thing. And they've got this, they were Leonard Skinner, and they waved around rebel flag, and you go into a store and buy it. Is it still there? You know what I mean? Like, I understand some of the arguments on the Republican side and the Democratic side. You still can, even though it's weird, but you can still go online and get, you don't want to, but there's, or you can make a Nazi flag, but it's not something that they're really going to allow you to really be to a certain degree. But the same thing with the rebel flag. Let's say if you had a band today that was a Leonard Skinner tribute band, they'd have some trouble. And what would they do about, what their set looked like and things like that? So why Leonard Skinner could get away with it, I don't really know. The 70s, everyone was just so dang messed up on drugs, they couldn't really understand it anyway, or they didn't really even saw it as that kind of thing, the dun dun dun, all that kind of stuff. It was just existing. But the problem is that it's become so divided. The country has become so divided, and people have chosen sides, and the protests had gotten so strong. And then all of a sudden, a side that never protested, that went to church, or a lot of them went to church, all of a sudden starts protesting, and they're getting pulled from their homes because, well, they broke the law. They kicked in not the White House doors, the Capitol. That's even worse. Because what were the jihadists after? They were going to fly a plane into the Capitol. So I don't know, man. I when I saw all that, I kind of flipped out, and I don't think I was completely on the side of that, but I understand the heartache of the people behind George Floyd and the pain and suffering that man had to go through right there in front of everybody. And I think crucifixions are wrong, and I think martyring is wrong, and I think a public killing is wrong. I think those things are wrong. I think they are wrong, And then, like, for example, the silencing of Ukraine. Here you got a country that's suffering, and now it's kind of being censored to a certain degree. That's why I kind of take my hat off to Sean Penn for going out there immediately and kind of trying to boycott the Oscars. I really kind of understood that. Nothing was really mentioned, but then Will Smith got in some trouble. It's just weird. It's just it's kind of almost like a silent revolt. It's like a silent revolution that gets quiet all of a sudden. They always say it gets quiet before the storm. But regardless of the nation that you do represent, remember, you will not get away with the evil deeds that you do. You will be punished by something greater than what you think. You'll actually be punished by something that you can't see right now. And it's looking at you at this present moment. So be careful on the choices that you make. Because let me tell you this, the Almighty knows your every hair on your head. So that delivery was right in the middle of the passage road. Just literally was sitting right there. So I just told him it's going to the place that it, originated. But it was laying like right, meaning it was a drop zone was like right there. Nobody was there. Nobody was there. Because I got the address. All right, started to rain. I might put television on this one. Every time the rain isn't around, I'll do like an intro television. I don't know, the one that I'm doing though, I'm trying to think what that intro is. It's like, I think it's some ambient noise or some sound effects noise. I think it has, I know I did a couple Elliott Smith intros, or I did an intro with Elliott Smith on it for the soundtrack on the intro. But I know I did television. I got a lot of kudos for that. It was a television Marquee Moon intro. If you ever know that band Television, they opened at CBGB a long time ago, like 70s. Probably, I was probably, I don't even know if I was around then. It was like 71 or 70. They were probably practicing at least. That was Television Marquee Moon that I had for the original. But I'm trying to think right now at the present moment, and I think it's just the original that we did. And then there's of course the one with the guitar strumming. I'm gonna head this way. No, I'm gonna go this way. But anyway, y'all have a good night. Vlog pretty much over. I'll see if there's any follow-up vlog, and I'll be setting this up for tomorrow. And then the cooking show will go up right behind it. The cooking show will go up first. And then I'll go ahead and send this one up, and then I'll have to. What I'll do is I'll finish up the rest of the vlogs and get finished up on Saturday. It's because we're going up on Saturday right now. All right. Well, I had to get up on my soapbox because I was brought up in the punk rock generation, and it's true. I did see Fugazi, which they came out of Washington. They're a punk band. I saw them. I've seen a lot of bands. I've seen Bob Dylan live. I went to Lollapalooza, I think 1991 Lollapalooza, where I saw Jane's Addiction and the whole slew of people. Saw Pearl Jam when they were in their early ages. They were in Lollapalooza as well. So we're lucky to have Lollapalooza because they brought in everything from the Butthole Surfers to Violent Femmes to I think Smashing Pumpkins we even ran with the Lollapalooza scene. I know the second year Red Hot Chili Peppers led it, and I saw them. I saw the Red Hot Chili Peppers come out with the flame on their head and Flea doing the craziness and all that stuff. I saw them. So I've seen a lot of bands and music, and I'm proud to bring that along the journey. And I am a Red Hot Chili Peppers fan. The first time I heard them, I was in Richland High School. That's where I went for a while. I went to Richland High School. I went to Haltom for like a semester, and I also went to Paschal. I graduated from Paschal High School, where Taylor Sheridan went to school. And then, like I said, I went to the University of North Texas, where I graduated. I did some time at Texas Wesleyan University. I mean, I served my credit hours at Texas Wesleyan University starting off. That's where I got really heavily into acting with a coach he was a teacher, Ken Stilson, who worked with Uta Hagen. And then I went back to UNT, and I graduated theater arts, and then I ran off to Hollywood, and then I went to the New School University where Sean Baker went, and I studied at the Actor Studio. So and then I learned from people from New York, and then I left and I went to ULIS, and I just kind of started writing. That's what I talked about today was the Untitled, and I have a pen name which is Ash Cole, which is in every description. I put a lot in my description. If you'd like to help, you'd be helping not only a writer, but you'd also be helping a vlogger and a person from my generation. So I tell you what I'm about. So please subscribe. Y'all have a good night. I mean, ultimately, you got to realize that some of these people are just testing the waters of freedom of speech. I think that's okay too. But you know, people have eyes and they have ears, and film and media also has eyes and ears, and you know, videography and YouTube has eyes and ears. So we're there to mostly just tell what we think. I don't know, I guess you could say truth, you know. But then there's nothing wrong with filming locations and going around and cooling film, you know, like, you know, filming. Cooling, I guess, I don't know what that is. There's a word, cooling, like I'm cooling something down. But filming, you know, filming stuff, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. Or videoing, you know, things. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think there is something wrong with pointing fingers and accusing people. Because listen, we're all wrong. It says it in the Bible, we're all wrong. You're wrong and I'm wrong. We're not perfect people. It says it, St. Paul said in the Bible, he said, we've all fallen short of the glory of the Lord. Over and out. And that's the Buffalo Haltom Tower from Haltom City, right there. North Loop 820 is pretty much what goes into Fort Worth. And you'll see the Mixmaster come up, and that's when we pass Mark 4 or Parkway. And then we go under that, and we have a stretch that heads towards pretty much Lake Worth, you know. So it's pretty much that area. Just let you know. But anyway, sometimes I'll do. That's weird. Sometimes I'll do some stuff on that area on the other side. I usually do kind of do an outro. If you want to call it an outro of going through the Mixmaster, because that's kind of like gateway of going right into well, Fort Worth, the eye of the needle kind of thing, if you want to say. Maybe it's not really, but it's just at traffic times it can be. But it's marked 4 Parkway right here. It's basically kind of like one of the gates. I guess you say you're definitely in Fort Worth, because your Riverside Drive pretty much is Fort Worth. I'm pretty much there now, but I always see it kind of like in, oh crap. Look, that's not good. He barely got through here because he's making a left-hand turn right here, or he's making a left-hand into that. He was trying to go this way. So he was going this way to try to get to this bridge that's going to Denton. So he just went around this way, and okay. That happened the other day, but it happened like right behind me, and the other car was ahead of me. I thought it was an insurance scam. You might see that. You might see some of that tomorrow. I don't know, because listen, how I'm doing the vlogs is I'm going to do the cooking show definitely tonight. I'm going to try to get these 3 up for the Friday the 13th. The whole Jason Lives thing, which is a monologue. I'm trying to get all that up, the Friday 13th stuff, so that it'll be, because this is my Friday 13th stuff, so it'll be like 3 of them. But the cooking show is going to probably head it or trail it. I don't know for sure. Probably it'll trail it or head it. I would probably say cooking show first, get that one over with. That'll go up first, and then I'll do my Friday the 13th one. There's Mark 4 Parkway. And this is the Mixmaster. Welcome to Fort Worth. So we're now in Fort Worth, and welcome to the Please Subscribe show. difficult to get lightning strikes. That right there is where the lightning strike came down. Very difficult to get it. You have to set up for quite a bit of time if there's a lightning storm, depending on how active it is. The more active the storm, the less time you have to actually just film the sky. But it's tiresome. Remember, all this footage, a lot of it, not all of it. I wish I could say I watch all edited footage. I do remember it, but you got to realize we have to, on the good vlogs that we do, we have to sit down and watch all of this stuff. If we're doing a 26-minute vlog, we're at least watching it for probably 36 minutes, sometimes longer if we twist it. You see, consider taking a break. Anyway, you'll see it. It's coming out tomorrow. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Yeah, we understand R2. He even speaks sometimes whenever I'm talking. R2. All right, good night. So it's clearly just talking about the aircraft, and this is this one right here. You can see it right here. That were lifted up from the earth. The wheels were lifted up over against them, for the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels. Yeah, it was this prophecy about aircraft right here. And this is probably something Shakespeare maybe have looked over and maybe even deciphered a little bit. And other people that were experts in writing and theology. But this is definitely aircraft. Pretty cool. Some would say an angels in the sky, and under the firmament means heavens, were the wings straight, clearly something that would fly, and the one toward the other, everyone had two, which covered on this side, and everyone had two, which covered on that side, their bodies. Planes do have bodies, though. They do talk about that. And when they went, I heard the noise of their wings, like the noise of great waters. Okay, so when a jet aircraft is taking off, you hear that as the voice of the Almighty, the voice of speech, as the noise of an host. When they stood, they let down their wings. So I am going to be posting stuff tomorrow about aircraft too. But this is right out of Ezekiel. There's a lot of interpretation.